During the reign of Emperor Yang Zheng in Qing Dynasty, China, there was a famous outlaw named Yu Shuang. He had ruled the underworld for decades. He had many followers. Many robberies were connected to his name. The government wanted him badly, but year after year no one could catch him. Anyone who learned under Yu Shuang followed one rule. After every robbery, they kept 70%. The other 30% had to be given to their master Yu Shuang. Over many years, his fortune became enormous. People said he had collected hundreds of thousands of silver coins. Then time passed. Yu Shuang reached 70 years old. He felt age catching up with him. He decided it was time to retire. Time to wash his hands of the old life. 10 days before his birthday, invitations were sent everywhere. To old friends, to former partners, to students, to people who had walked the road with him for many years. The message was simple. Come witness my retirement. Come eat. Come drink. Come celebrate. The old gang agreed immediately. The younger generation had heard stories about Yu Shuang all their lives. Most had never seen him, but his reputation alone was enough. No one dared refuse. Soon the day arrived. Yu Shuang's 70th birthday. Guests filled the courtyard. People came from every direction. Many famous figures of the underworld sat together. Some talked about old adventures. Some shared lessons from dangerous years. Young men listened carefully. For them, this felt like entering a hall of legends. It was a gathering of thieves and outlaws. No dancers, no music. No beautiful performers. Only rough men with scars and swords. Men with hard faces and loud voices. Yu Shuang prepared more than 80 banquet tables. Every seat was full. Everyone sat according to status and reputation. That was the rule of the Jianghu world. But something strange happened. At the very last table sat someone unusual. Actually, not someone. Something. A monkey. The monkey had a red face, golden eyes. Dark fur. It stood around 4 feet tall. Except for speaking human language, it behaved almost exactly like a person. It greeted guests, looked around calmly, acted like it belonged there. People whispered to each other, "A monkey? Why is there a monkey here?" Some even joked quietly, "Is old Yu retiring and planning to travel west with a monkey like the Monkey King?" But soon people noticed something strange. This was no ordinary animal. The top of its head was smooth like a monk's. Its ears were gone. Only dark holes remained, and its eyes. Its eyes were terrifying, sharp, cold, powerful, as if it understood everything around it. Soon food and wine filled every table. Yu Shuang had prepared an impressive feast. Everyone drank happily. Then Yu Shuang stood up. He raised his wine cup. He stroked his beard and smiled. "My friends," he said, "drinking alone isn't fun. We need stories, but we're rough men. No poetry, no fancy drinking games. Let's each tell a story. Tell us your greatest moment. Tell us your bravest deed. If the story is good enough, we drink." Everyone loved the idea. These men lived dangerous lives. Who didn't have stories? Who didn't have glorious moments? One by one they stood up. Each man told tales of fighting, stealing, escaping, surviving. The mood became louder. The wine flowed endlessly. People laughed and shouted. Time passed quickly. Eventually only one guest remained. The monkey. By now night had fallen. The monkey itself seemed slightly drunk. It looked left, then right. As if thinking. Yu Shuang suddenly laughed. He walked over, then spoke to everyone. "This friend here," he said, "has traveled with me for many years. He helped build everything I have today. I have only one daughter. She is married now. I have no burdens left. After today I will leave everything behind. I will spend the rest of my life with this old friend." The room went silent. People stared. Some nearly dropped their cups. Calling dogs family was common enough, but calling a monkey a hero and a close friend, That was new, very new. Most people could not understand, but a few older men exchanged looks. They nodded quietly, because they knew the truth. Yu Shuang smiled proudly. He touched his beard again. My friend's name is Ling Mai. I found him when he was young. I trained in martial arts for years, but I was slow. My memory was poor. My teacher taught me, but I forgot quickly. Yet Ling Mi always sat beside me. He watched once and remembered everything. He learned every movement. Then I followed him, and strangely, I learned from my own monkey. The guests stared in silence. Yu Shuang continued. Years later, I entered my profession. Small jobs were easy, but rich families lived behind tall walls. I had no way inside. Then Ling Mi solved the problem. He climbed walls faster than birds fly. He entered first. He opened doors and windows. Then we walked in, again and again. Never failed. Yu Shuang drank another cup. Then he smiled. When money ran out, I traveled and performed in town squares. People thought I was only a street performer. No one suspected anything. At night, I stayed in inns. I drank. I ate. And after midnight, Ling Mi went to work. He needed no instructions. He left after dark. He returned before sunrise. Gold in his hands, jewels in his mouth. I fed him wine and good food, and he danced happily. Then Yu Shuang looked toward the monkey. His voice became softer. We slept side by side. Even during winter, he kept me warm. But good days never last forever. One winter, we walked through a frozen wilderness. The wind screamed. Heavy snow covered everything. The snow reached our legs. We could barely move. Even we could not endure it. I collapsed. I thought I would die. My eyes slowly closed. But at the last moment, my companions arrived. They carried beds through the snow. They saved me. And they carried Ling Mi too.